Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning into the final summer 2025 update from GavsWeatherVids. So here we go again. We're going to do our final batch of summer data. I'll be up to update number 10, update number 11. I've lost track. I had a bit of a muddle. A couple of updates to go where we did, I think it's 2 9s or something, or 2 8s. Anyway, never mind about that. Final summer update, and summer forecast, of course, going to be released next week. So one last batch of data to go through. And of course, season one round next week, and then we're at the end of our journey. So I'll get on with your final summer update for you in a moment. Just save that first. But it was our 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. And we've got GavsWeatherVids sunny brown powder 10 to 14 day on the way. Later on today as well, busy day at GavsWeatherVids today. So please like, share, and subscribe on all today's videos content. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Thank you so much to Richard. So to Ricardo. Richard Short for the summer updates gift. It's been amazing. Thank you so much. It made me laugh when I first saw that Rich cop car. Police coming for Gav. Crimes against weather forecasting. It's that Roseberry topping in the background. I think it might be. It looks familiar. Local to Rich, maybe. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Rich, for the gift. You're going to see a special summer forecast gift next week, of course. And thanks so much to Shrine as well, sorting out our years for us. Thank you so much, Shrine. And thank you so much to Terry also. Terry Scully, hashtag Team Gav, working away for us as always and as ever. Right, okay, let's do this then. So I'm going to be projecting May date. Of course, we're still about a week short of month's end, so this is all a bit speculative. We are taking a bit of a risk with this, but, you know, because I said the summer forecast is going to be on the 1st of June, then rather than the 25th, then we've got an extra week to cover. But do keep in mind, this is all projected, and, you know, the final numbers may come out a little bit different to what you're thinking. Anyway, currently, to 22nd of May, we're at 12.6. That's 1.5 degree above 61 to 1990 average. We're suggesting, projecting that we're probably going to come in somewhere in the mid to upper 12s with the central England temperature. So we're going to be looking at summers following May CTs 12.5 to 12.9. We think that should be there or thereabouts. Might be a little bit under that. But it shouldn't be too far out. Anyway, so anyway, 1953. So, top of low pressure in this summer across the west of Europe. Higher pressures pulled out into the Atlantic. So, quite a cool and mixed summer there to start us off in 1953. 1959 is a really classic extended summer with high pressure above average heights through the western portion of Europe. So sorry, everyone, it will be Gav live stream or video that golf. Though this summer gets going in the spring and it's still going in the autumn. Peak summer is in the summer, and very warm and long, dry, very warm summer. That doesn't get exceptionally hot, I don't think, but just consistent day after day of very warm and dry conditions. 1960 gets the infamous decade of the 1960s off to an unsettled and cool start for that summer. So, of course, 1960s notorious for bad summers and cold winters. So, getting the decade off to a very appropriate start. They have a long gap to 1989. So this one is similar to 1959 in a lot of ways. Has a very extended summer, getting going in the spring, still ongoing into the into the autumn even in 1989. It has an 18 Celsius CT July. That's a classic long hot summer. And they've got 1990 showing up next. This is another hot summer. The analog doesn't tell you all that much about the summer, to be honest. With low pressure to the north, high pressure south, bring the wind in from the west. So the thing with that summer is that it has a it has an unsettled start. So after a warm pretty dry spring, we get into a more unsettled and cooler June, and then the summer gradually gets hotter as we go along, culminating in a ferocious heat wave at the end of July and beginning of August. And on the 3rd of August, I think it is, we get 100 Fahrenheit, 37 degrees at Cheltenham for the first time in recorded history. Of course, done that a few times since, but 1990 was the first time that we did that. Then we've got 1999, our next summer, following May CET 12.5 to 12.9. With higher pressure out to the northwest, lower pressure south. Again, it's an analogue, but doesn't tell you all that much about the summer, to be honest. Has a very nice July, 17 Celsius CT, lots of dry and warm weather. June's quite wet and sometimes often rather cool. And then August is a very warm month, but also rather unsettled. It has a hot and thundery start. 2001, with a bit of everything in this summer, but overall rather mixed, often quite warm though, and just a bit of everything. Then got 2016, classic backloaded summer. This one, again, the analog doesn't tell you all that much about the summer. Starts rather cool and unsettled, gets hotter as it goes along. Best of the summer is in August and indeed in September. And then we've got 2020. Again, another summer with a little bit of everything thrown in, along with the kitchen sink too. So, has hot days and some really intense heat spikes, actually. Has some cool wet days, has quite a few thunderstorms. I mean, it's even a couple of named windstorms at the end of August that flattened off my runners. Then finally got 2023. Again, the analog not really showing you all that much about the summer. You know, look at that and think it's quite unsettled and cool summer with blocking up to the north and low pressure into the west of Europe. Now, summer 2023 has, of course, a very hot June, 17 Celsius CT, but July and August are both quite cool and mixed. So the best of summers in June. Classic front-loaded summer, although the summer comes back again then in September with another 17 Celsius CT. Right, let's put all that together then. This is how all Junes combined are looking. Following May CT 12.5 to 12.9. High pressure towards Scandinavia. Winds in from the east, low pressure to the south. So the most unsettled conditions likely to be in the south, actually. And probably quite a warm signal with those easterly winds too. Could be quite volatile. July looks a bit dodgy, I have to say. Drop of low pressure to the north and the east. High pressure out in the Atlantic. Winds in for west-northwesterly direction. Rather cool and unsettled July, therefore, seems likely. August with low pressure to the east and some sort of blocking up here. All looking rather mixed, I think, with these things. But again, the years are deviating. So, for example, I've got 1919 in the mix, which was a decent August, and 1959 as well, I suppose. And then all summers combined following May CT at 12.5, 12.9. Looks like that. Again, low pressure to the east, higher pressure is out in the Atlantic. Overall, a mixing. I reckon the best of the summer might be in June, actually, in a lot of those years. So maybe slightly front-loaded being favoured. Right, we'll go on to our second and final set of analogues, England Wales precipitation. Show been very, very dry for May so far. At the moment, we're drier than the driest May on record, which appears to be 1844 within England Wales precipitation index anyway. To 22nd of May, we've only had 6.2 millimetres, 10% of the average. We are expecting a more unsettled final week to the month, of course. How unsettled will it get remains to be seen. We think we might just come in with a top 10 driest May. So that is going to be our final set of analogues. As you know, we love a countdown at GavsWeatherVids. So, for the final time, at number 10, for the top 10 driest Mays, we've got 2010 with a ridge in the Atlantic, a trough in the west of Europe. That is a front-loaded summer, very dry, often quite hot in June, into the beginning of July. July has 70 Celsius CT, but wobbles and turns more unsettled, sometimes thundering, and then a cool, wet August. At number 9, we've got 1998. This is a cool and mixed summer after a classic warm, dry May. Is this the analogue, maybe, for this year? The only thing that would go against it is that in 1998, we were flipping from a super Nino to a strong La Nina. So that's something to keep in mind. But in terms of May's actual, weather and the spring, May weather anyway, maybe that's a closer match. Although the spring of 1998 was quite cold and wet early on. Anyway, May 1998 was warm and dry. Summer was cool and mixed. Then we've got 1980. Cool and mixed summer as well at number 8. So a trough of low pressure through the north and the west of Europe. At number 7, 1959 is back again. Extended warm and dry summer. That's like it could be a key analogue, doesn't it? Certainly for this set of analogues, this update. At number 6, one of the top 10 driest Mays, we've got 1970. It's a bit front-loaded as well. I think it has a very warm and dry June. Gradually turn more unsettled as we go along. Then 1990 is back, of course, but ferocious heat wave at the beginning of August. 37 degrees at Cheltenham. That's in at number 5. Number 4, we've got 1956. Maybe the worst August of 20th century. It's up there anyway with such infamous years as 1912 and maybe 1986. So 1956 is very wet, cool summer and one of the worst summers and worst August of the 20th century. 1989 is back again, though extended warm, dry summer with that one. And at number 2, we've got 1991. This is a backroad summer. Again, how long does it tell you about much? Trough there, low pressure there, and a ridge there. So starts with a very cool June in 1991. I think it might have a CT in the 11s last time that happened. But then it gets progressively and substantially warmer and has a very warm, dry August and September combination. And then finally we've got 2020 back again at number 1 in terms of the driest May for England precipitation. Again, a bit of everything in the summer of 2020. Hot days, cool, wet days, windy days, stormy days, and plenty of thunderstorms too. You name it, it's happening in that summer. Right, let's put it back together then, and then we're going to be done. So this is how all Junes combined are looking, following the top 10 driest Mays, unsettled with low pressure through the west of Europe. All Julys combined look like that. Again, a little bit mixed, I have to say. Higher pressure out to the west, low pressure to the northeast. Winds like be in from a west or a northwesterly direction. August is a little bit better. So the first set, interestingly, perhaps a bit front-loaded. The second set, Van Loss's final update, maybe a little bit back-loaded with slightly more of an anti-cyclonic signal there, if anything. So the best summer likely to be in August. And finally, all summers combined, following the top 10 driest Mays. Again, looking mixed, low pressure to the north and east, high pressure out in the Atlantic, and winds are in the northwesterly direction. We'll see. Right, okay, we're done for our final summer update. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with this season of updates. It's been a long season, miss, hasn't it? We started at the beginning of March. We've gone through right to the end of May. My summer forecast, the same will be released next week on the 1st June. It's been a long season of summer updates. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking with us week by week. And say next week you're going to find out what we are forecasting. Ooh, love it. Big week next week. Thank you so much, Richard, for our fabulous summer updates gift and all the help on the updates. Thank you so much, my friend. As I say, you're going to see some of the forecast gift next week. Thank you so much to lovely Shrine as well. Shrine Bryn sorting out the years for us week by week. And thank you so much to Terry for just being absolutely amazing as always on the guiding hand on my shoulder. I'll hand out all of the thanks next week when we do the forecast. Of course I will, but hashtag Team Gav done an awesome job for us. Thank you so much, guys, for the season summer updates. Right, so I've got Gavs won't sit around. Yeah, that's right. Gavs won't sit around coming up for you shortly. And they'll have a 10 to 14 days where I say busy day at GavsWeatherVids today. Please keep checking back to the channel for more content for this one, though. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.